Welcome to the Network Build Grow podcast, the show where business owners, entrepreneurs, and professionals share their stories, lessons learned, and powerful strategies for building relationships and growing their circle of influence. With Melissa Taylor, your host, each week we'll bring you actionable insights to help you build a better network and a better business. Let's dive in.
Hello. Welcome to the Network Build Grow podcast. How you doing, Samie?
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. So I love your shirt. I love the polka dots. That's so cute. I love it. So before we jump in, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what you do and more importantly, kind of why?
Okay. So I am a co-owner of a full-service digital marketing agency. I know it's a mouthful, but we do everything from websites to social media, digital ad campaigns, all sorts of different strategies. Our biggest focus is data and SEO and combating with the whole AI generation search. And so we're really diving into that side of how everything works and how it applies to clients. And that really is the why is it's for the clients. We want to make sure that we're staying ahead of the curve, keeping everybody up to date. And that's the fun part, right? That's the magic, is when you get to implement something for a client and it actually works and you see the light bulb click. And that's why I do it. I do it for the excitement of that company, that brand, that business owner to go, oh my gosh, I can do this. I can grow my business. So that's why I do all of this.
Isn't it just like the biggest high to help somebody else succeed?
It is, absolutely.
There's just nothing like it.
The whole reason I started this company, I walked in 13 years ago. I walked into this lady's boutique in our small little historic downtown, and she was struggling. So imagine Facebook 13 years ago. She was struggling with logging in and how to use it for a business. And I was knowledgeable enough. I didn't have a company, but I was knowledgeable enough. I was like, well, let me see what I can do. It was a total stranger. And I spent 2.5 hours behind her counter fixing her Facebook, setting her up on Instagram, getting her website started, and like all these different things. And you could just see like everything turned on for her. And she's like, I can do this. I was like, yeah, you just got to show them how to do it. So that's why I jumped into all this. It just kind of sparked that feeling of I can really help some people. So
Yeah. Okay. Now you got my curiosity piqued. What were you doing at the time?
I was soul searching. No, I was bartending and waitressing.
Well,
um,
that's soul searching.
Right? I went to college and I graduated during a recession. Nobody was hiring. Everyone wanted 10 years experience with no pay, and it was insane. I ended up getting like a temp job, worked in corporate for a little bit in logistics, didn't know that was a thing. Realized I am not a corporate girly. That is not where I fit. And
I can't
so
see
when
that.
we moved from, right, and so now my now husband and I were living in a larger city. We moved to where we are now, which is Newberry. And I didn't want to commute. I didn't want to go into corporate. Again, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. And so, kind of walking into that lady's shop that day actually changed the trajectory of everything I was doing and trying to figure out. So, it's kind of neat.
Gotcha. Okay, now you said Newberry, as in like the Andy Griffith town?
So that's Mayberry, but it
That's
might as well be
Mayberry.
Mayberry. It's Newberry, South Carolina. It's the town of friendly folk, I believe, is our tagline. So it's super cute. I think we have more cows than people, but we do have high speed internet and a Starbucks. So we're doing well.
So you're doing good and you are in business because you're in digital. So that's great. So
Yeah.
we actually met at a networking event.
hmm Yep. At a women's conference, I believe.
Yeah, it was a women's conference. And so networking plays a huge part in my business. Does it play a huge part in yours as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I first started, I literally went door to door to businesses with flyers and was explaining who I was. And so, yeah, networking has definitely been something that made a world of difference, especially with marketing. Marketing is one of those that trust has to be built. So you
Uh-huh.
can't just hire a company. You have to really know someone. And so to be able to go to events like where we met and the type of events you guys do, it's
Mhm.
really building those relationships makes all the difference when it comes to building a business.
Yeah. Okay. So let's explore what you just said. So you said you went door to door with flyers, but you considered that networking instead of prospecting because you were actually doing it to meet them and build relationships, not sell to them.
Absolutely.
That is a
Absolutely.
huge difference. That's a
Mhm.
different mindset for people that need to do that, for people that need to go kind of door to door, knock on doors, meet people,
Mhm.
not homes, we're more talking more B2B.
Right, right.
But talk about how you shifted your mindset into, I'm just going to meet these people and I'm going to drop off a flyer, but I'm really just starting a relationship. Talk to me about that mindset shift.
Well, even back then, up until today, everyone is so focused on sales, right? Like you gotta build these sales channels, and you gotta pump out cold call emails and door knocking and all these different things. But it's almost quantity over quality, or quality over quantity, right? So if you can build a relationship and actually meet some people, then they start to develop that trust and that understanding, and you get to know the person, and then they start caring. And so if they care, they're going to care about what you do and how you can help them, and they'll trust you more, they believe you more. They're handing you their baby, right? And so you've got to be able to confidently say, I can take care of that. And so changing that mindset of going from the sales side of having to pump out constant cold calls to just simply walking into a business and shaking somebody's hand is
Yeah.
completely different. It changes the game when it comes to the hustle and the grind of a business owner. Hustling is not okay. Like, you shouldn't
Yeah.
have to do that and go through all that. There's definitely ways again, like you said, shift that mindset to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah. And just build the relationships.
Mhm.
Just build the relationship because you're right. A lot of the times, especially when you're in B2B sales, you are what you're selling is something that's going to help them become something different than they
Correct.
are now. That's scary
Mhm.
for a lot of people,
Absolutely.
especially with marketing services. Like you're
Mhm.
saying, hey, we can take you from here to like here. And they're like, "Oh, that could be
Yeah.
cool, but that's also
Yeah.
kind of scary at the
And,
same time."
we run into a lot of times people have already been burned once or twice
Yeah.
before when it comes to
Hmm.
marketing, because there's so much stuff out there. And especially now with AI and softwares and all these things,
Hmm.
people want a real person. They want to know that whoever is they're handing their logins and passwords to can take care of their baby. And it's,
Yeah.
a lot of these people, it is frightening. It is very scary especially business owners, when you're trying to figure out where to spend that dollar, how to make my business grow without, sacrificing dinner one night. How do you balance that out?
Hmm. Yeah. Marketing is a tricky one. It's a tricky
Mhm.
one because if you get on the internet, it looks like you can just do it
So
all
easy.
yourself and it's so
Yep.
easy. And there's this shiny bullet over here and this shiny bullet over there. And we all know those shiny bullets are actually bullets, period.
Oh, yeah. Get
They
a
can just
million followers in 3 weeks. Like, no.
no, no. Yeah, you might have the numbers, but the metrics
Mhm.
aren't where it's at. Again,
Absolutely.
even in those numbers, it's about quality. Like
Mhm.
who is following you? Are
Right.
they a qualified buyer? And
Mhm.
that's, really the key. So let's talk just for a second. I don't want to go too much into this because we want to get back to some other things, but the world of SEO has changed because of
Yes.
AI. And so
Mhm.
just really quick, what do you think the number one thing is that people have to shift their mindset on that?
That AI is not a sentient being, that it's not going to take over the world, in this current moment. But it is something that the mindset of that it's just a tool to ask a question is not what it's for. I think that is the mindset that it needs to shift.
Mhm.
It's You're not just using it as a search engine to answer a question. You're using it to build information for you and to do the work for you. So I mean, we could really, like you said, deep dive into this, but the mindset that businesses don't need it, it needs to let go. You're already behind. I'll go ahead and predict in the next 5 years, I think all businesses have to have their own GPTs built just
Yeah.
for their business. It will be standard practice, no different than having a website or a Facebook page.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that shift, that mindset of I don't want to touch it to know I need to start understanding it needs to happen.
Yeah, because the companies that do are the ones that when people do go to ask the internet a question, if they have those good AI tools built into their information, they have
Mhm.
those language models built in, they're the ones that are gonna come up in the searches.
Mhm.
They're the ones that are gonna come up with the
Mhm.
answers,
Yep.
and they're the
Yep.
ones that are gonna get the business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's go back to networking. So there is
Sure.
networking, just if you were to define networking, it sounds like you would say it's relationship building. Like networking equals relationship building, period.
Yep.
No
Yep.
matter where you are, how you're doing it, what you're doing.
Yep.
But let's talk about kind of traditional networking events or groups. Let's talk about that side of networking. When did you start getting involved in that kind of work?
Whew, 13 years ago.
Okay, so basically
Honestly,
like when you started and
when
just
I
kind of
started it, yeah, I was a transplant. I was not from a small town. I'm from originally from Atlanta, so moving to, Newberry, South Carolina, you
that
have
was a
to
big change.
it was a big culture shock. We had blue laws back then too. I don't know if you've ever heard of blue
No,
laws. Oh yeah, you
no.
couldn't buy anything that wasn't considered essential or food before 1 o'clock on a Sunday. Like,
Okay.
I couldn't buy oil for my car. I got yelled at by an employee. They have it like they used to rope it off in the store, and I went under. I didn't know I was from out of town. Just started college. I went under the rope, grabbed the car oil, and I went back under the rope. I thought they were mopping, and this lady started yelling at me, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know." So yeah, it was a big culture shock. Um, but networking is something I think I kind of started it was kind of already part of my personality all the way through up until, through high school and stuff like that. I've always been able to just kind of not talk to random people and build
Mhm.
relationships and that kind of thing. So it was a natural flow to go from, all right, I'm gonna start a business. I should probably start meeting potential clients or figure out what is a potential client. So just started going to like I said, door knocking and any we had a bunch of like downtown development associations and
Hmm.
chamber meetings and all these different business owner groups. So I literally I hustled and I went to all of them and I joined boards and I joined chair seats and all sorts of things to connect. It's all about who you know and who they know.
Yeah, let's
Mhm.
take a little deeper dive into that because a lot of people go to networking groups, chambers, associations, and those
Mhm.
are
All
all
the
for
things.
different reasons, all the different things, and
Hmm.
they don't get involved. They go, they
Yeah.
show up, they talk to people, and they leave. Let's talk about how getting involved, getting on the board, getting on a
Hmm.
seat, getting into a committee. Sounds like you did that pretty early on.
Hmm.
What change? How do you feel like that actually helps even more than just going?
So I dived in hard. I like most things, I'm a go big or go home type person. And so I jumped in hard. I joined all the boards, sat on all the chairs. And I will say doing that makes a difference and it is very, very valuable. But you have to be strategic about it. You can't just join everything. You can't just jump in because you're going to burn out real quick.
Mhm,
So moving forward, now that I've done all the hustle, I've done all the things, I've been to all the groups. Now I'm very specific about the groups I do join and
mhm,
strategic and how is it going to balance in with everything else we're doing with all of our other prospecting type strategies. How does this particular group that I'm looking at, like yours, the network build grow, how does that fit into my business strategy?
mhm.
Because you can join all the women's groups that you want, but not all the groups are going to be effective for you. I learned
Exactly.
the hard way with one group. Their membership, as much as I was a resource to them, I wasn't getting much back. I was happy to be that resource, but that particular membership didn't fit my clientele. So I needed to then go find a group that fit my clientele. Had I joined that group 10 years ago, would have been perfect. But I've since grown up a little bit and been able to, I'm blessed to say that we can kind of cherry pick clientele now, but understanding which groups and how they affect your strategy makes a difference as to joining, but they are very, very valuable.
Yeah, and I think also which positions. So, like,
Yes.
right, so if you're a marketing company, you wanna get on, like, the marketing committee
Hmm.
or something like that. If you are a coach of some kind, you might wanna join the ambassador or the welcoming committee so you get to
Yep.
meet people.
Fit your skills.
Exactly, fit your
Hmm.
skills. I have
Hmm.
a friend well, I do so, I'm also a speaker strategist. I work with a lot of speakers.
Hmm.
So my thing would be to get, like, the education committee, the
Yep.
people that bring in the speakers.
Hmm.
Because then
Hmm.
I become a really good resource for the local speaker community.
I
So it's
always joined. I know the F word is always scary to people. I always joined the fundraising committee. Uh,
oh,
because you're right. I know it's scary, but I always joined that one because the whole point was to go and network with the business owners to ask for donations. So not
Hmm.
only am I walking in as an introduction, it gives me a chance to walk into a business I might would have never walked in before or had a reason to walk in other than like a cold call. I'm there for a reason. Oh, by the way, I noticed your brochures aren't that great. Let me fix those for you. Or hey, by the
Excellent.
way, I know you're connected to this group. What are you guys up to? How can we collaborate with you? Figuring out that foot in the door is was easy with fundraising, even though it
Smart.
is that one committee.
But that is really smart.
Mhm,
That is really smart.
mhm.
Yeah, because you get to go in on the chamber's dime or whatever
Right.
with the chamber hat on, but
Yep.
then obviously you have
And
your
then
own
I'm
business
building that
and you're building the
relationship, I'm
relationship.
meeting those people, and
Mhm.
then they know me from that nonprofit good feeling thing that I did, and then, "Oh, by the way, here's all the other stuff we do."
Here's all the other stuff that we do.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, that's really smart. That's a brilliant way to get involved and do good and
Mhm.
also get the exposure.
Yep,
Because I think when you get involved, it gives you a higher exposure.
it does.
It leverages your membership inside
Mhm.
and outside of
Oh,
the
absolutely.
of the group.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
If you network for your business, you already know follow up is everything when it comes to growing relationships and driving success. But here's the thing most of us want to follow up well, we just get stuck. Staying consistent, keeping it personal, making it stand out, it's hard. That's why I use Net Effect IO. It makes follow up simple, cuts through all the noise, and helps me stay on top of every relationship without dropping the ball. I never miss a follow up, and honestly, my network wouldn't be the same without it. So check it out, neteffect.io. And right now, you can use promo code NBG50 for 50% off of your first month. Neteffect.io, your secret weapon to unforgettable follow up.
Okay, so let's do a little bit of rapid fire questions
Okay.
for networking. All right, what is the number one thing you think people do inconsistently or even kind of wrong, in air quotes, wrong when they go networking?
Introducing themselves. Um, and specifically that long sales pitch introduction that
Mhm.
some people tend to do at first. It should be organic. You should walk up, shake your hand, hi, how are you? Get to know the person before you try to sell them on what you do. And you can throw in a little, hi, this is what I do, but don't go into that long pitch. Build that relationship and build that personality connection first before you try to read them the brochure.
Yeah, read 'em the brochure. I love that. So, what do you, what's some of the ways that you ask a question? Because I know everybody goes and goes, "So, Sammy, what do you do?" But what's a different way that you start a conversation?
Generally, I find if I'm walking around a networking room, I'll find somebody that I can relate to in some manner, whether it's a coffee in their hand or a colored shirt that they're wearing, and I'll just start that positive. I'll start it with a instead of a neutral "Hi, how are you?" It's a positive engagement where it's, "Oh my god, I love your shirt," or "Oh my god, I love your shoes," or "Oh, I need another coffee too. How's that coffee?" Like just kind of reach them on a more personal level
Mhm,
first.
mhm.
It that way it feels like an organic. Yes, I'm coming to them to specifically talk to them, but the flow is much more organic than it is business, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
I tell people to practice that in the grocery lines or in the lines at the mall. Just, like, strike up a conversation with the
Start
people
talking.
around you.
Yep.
You'll never see those people again in your life, so who cares if you stumble over your
Absolutely.
feet?
And I'll tell you, my business partner is one of those, he'll tell you, I will pull a new client from anywhere. I can literally be at a grocery store and be random. I will talk to a brick wall. I can have a great conversation and I will talk to anybody. And I have pulled more clients from
Yeah.
random occurrences because there's one thing I always tell people is you have to spot your opportunities and or make your own opportunities, because they're not going to get handed to you. So
Mhm.
if you're standing in that grocery line, that might be a multi-million-dollar business owner standing behind you
Yeah.
wearing dirty pants. Like we're in a very big ag community, right? So like I've got a guy in steel-toed boots covered in mud and a camo t-shirt standing behind me, but he owns a major metal manufacturing company down the street. And so you never know who you're going to run into. And so you should always be on the hunt for an opportunity.
Yeah, I just think you always have to be open. I like to tell people that networking is not an event, it's not a
Mhm.
group, it's a lifestyle.
It is. Mhm.
And you're just like a professional friend maker.
Yeah.
And everywhere you go, I was at the Clemson football game this weekend, and I just started randomly talking to this guy and this girl in front of me, this couple in front of me,
Mhm.
because it's just about talking to people.
Mhm.
And the conversation, if it goes on long enough, gets around to what everybody does for a living.
Absolutely. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm. Okay. So, what is one way that you add value to your network, to the people that are in your sphere, without expecting anything in return?
I we're very honest in our company. That's one of our major core values. I always provide unfiltered honesty. To be real with you. So when someone comes, when we're talking in a networking group, we just met, we're having a great conversation. The what you do comes around. We start
Mhm.
get diving into that. I'll always ask them, well, what's your biggest problem? Where are you struggling in that regard? And then I'll tell them, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, whether you go with me or not, here's some information. So I like to give out value. I like to give back something. A lot of people in the marketing space are really bad at gatekeeping. That's just
Mhm.
an industry thing. No one wants to give away the secret sauce. But I'm gonna be honest with you, no, a lot of business owners don't want to do their own marketing. they
No.
they just don't. Sometimes they have to when they get started, sure, but they don't want to do it. And so I'm going to give them an honest feedback or give them honest information or knowledge that they're going to realize I can't do this by myself. I need her help. And then they
Exactly.
come to me for help. And that's
Exactly.
perfectly fine, but I have no problem giving away free information. I'm not going to sit there for 3 hours and give you and talk to you, right? But I will give you whatever I can give you in that moment to help you find clarity.
Yeah.
And whether you find value in that or not, 9 out of 10 times they find value and I get a call back.
Or if they can't afford it and they know they can't afford it, they
Mhm.
got a friend over here that can.
Yep.
And because you gave them value, they're gonna be like, "You know what? I talked to this girl,
Yep.
Sammy.
Absolutely.
You should give her a call."
Yep.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's
My
wonderful.
best referral partners are my clients.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
Some of my
Mhm.
best referral partners are people that have never been my client,
True. Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very true.
right? It's just I've
Mhm.
given them some help along the way, just
Yep.
in casual conversation, and then they just refer people to
Mhm.
you. It's
Mhm.
bizarre. Okay, so it's wonderful. All right, last question, then I'll let you go. What is your best Sammyism to let people really understand how to just, like, get out there and just do it? Like, just get out there and just have those conversations, build those relationships. What's one of the best things you can tell them to do?
Oof. Can you do the beep sound? Because I'd like to say "F it."
Ah,
Let
okay.
go of your insecurities, your fears. Um, I know it is. I know it's frightening. I get up and I do workshops all the time, and I'm still nervous as all get out that I cannot like I think you can hear the shaking in my voice sometimes that I'm feeling, but it's you just have to F it and just go for it.
Mhm,
Walk up to that random person, shake their hand, introduce yourself. I was literally my 4-year-old went to summer camp or a camp over the summer, and that was the one thing we practiced was, "Hi, my name is Lucy. What is yours?" And it's just suck it up. If you're gonna own a business, this is what you have to do. I
yeah,
hate to say it, entrepreneurship is not for everybody, but
mm-mm,
if this is what you want to do, networking is absolutely part of it, and you just have to do it.
yeah,
Either that or hire a bunch of people to do it for you.
that's right,
When you talk about it is one of mine is know your strengths, hire for your weaknesses. So
mhm,
if networking and sales is not in marketing is not your thing, then go hire someone to do it. But it has
mhm,
to happen. So
yeah,
just F it.
yeah, and it's not just entrepreneurs, it's what I call independent professionals.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Finance,
for sure.
financial, real estate, mortgage,
Mhm.
those people that
Oh yeah.
they're responsible for their paycheck.
They
They
are.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Anybody that's responsible for their own paycheck has to just, like you
You
said, for
have to
them,
do it.
you have
Just
to, yeah.
suck it up and do it.
Well, we will end on that note.
Deal.
Thanks so much. Thanks so
Mhm.
much for being with us, and we'll make sure that everybody has all of your information. Just tell us the name of your company one last time, and we'll sign off.
So we're Emily Revolutionary Marketing Group, and we're based out of Newberry, South Carolina.
Wonderful. Thanks, Samie.
See ya.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Network Build Grow podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow entrepreneur or professional. And of course, if you're not yet part of our community, visit networkbuildgrow.com to connect with us. Until next time, keep building and keep growing.